says, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established. But now have he obtained a more excellent ministry. By how much also he is the mediator.
Because it's a more excellent ministry, because these men are more based in faith and less likely to go off and break the law because of their faith. Go ahead.
But how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises.
He is now the mediator of a better covenant established on better promises. Why? Because there was one that walked without sin that can testify to the hardships and the pitfalls of his flesh. So he can understand better when you fuck up, but he can also not understand when you fuck up too, in certain other ways. You know, so he's more in tune with what we can do here on earth as a man in the flesh walking around. But he did it without sin. He did it without fault. So when you do it, so that proves that there's a way that it can be done, that you don't have to sin. It's very, very, very difficult in captivity, but especially in captivity under the so-called white man. But it can be done. So it's a harder path to walk, but it's more understandable when you do make these pitfalls. Read that again a little bit of what you're saying.
It says, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was
that mediator in the middle, that goes from the strictness of the law to the understanding of the flesh, the weakness of the flesh of the law, that has to perform the law.
Well, the Most High is who gave the covenants, right. And Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, right. He pretty much was the mediator between us and the Heavenly Father. Because if we didn't have a mediator, we would have no direct link to the Heavenly Father anymore, man. We would be, basically as a nation, we would be put away, so to speak.
Right, right.
If it wasn't for Yahweh Shai, the Most High wouldn't deal with us anymore.
Right.
So it was a better covenant to send his son to be a mediator, because him being perfect in the flesh, that was a reasonable sacrifice, man. Right. Because he was that perfect man. He's the son of the Heavenly Father. You know, if Yahweh Shai, if he had any sin, which that's blasphemy, he could never have sin. But I'm saying if he ever did have a sin as who he is, he wouldn't be the mediator between us and the Most High, man.
Because that unrighteousness can't get close to the righteousness of the Most High.
Exactly.
That's why he put us away. We were so filthy we couldn't be by the Most High. Yep. So he needed somebody clean to deal with the Most High understood we needed somebody clean to be the mediator to bring us back to him. Yep. And that's what I was going to say. Exactly. He became the mediator because that ultimate righteousness of the law, that strictness of the law, is the Most High's perspective of how we should be living when he gave it to us. But the pitfalls of this flesh is the opposite side of that brings us filthy Israel back to the Most High. You know, that's why that mediator came in. Because now we have a chance to get to that excellent level again. Because think about it, Yahweh Shai, more than like, just to hypothesize, you know, he went back to the Heavenly Father probably like, hey, it's tough down there. If you didn't put the Spirit on me to get through it, man, it was tough down there. And they're not built like we're built, like you built me. You know? So with that understanding, you know, well, I better just write the laws in them then. Because it's going to say it. Go ahead, bro.
And that's going to be in the kingdom when we finally have
it that way, right.
Verse 7.
Yep.
For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them.
Not with the law. Finding fault with us, because we were created imperfectly. We wasn't created to have the Spirit to not go off. We were created with fault, with fault, for lack of a better term.
That's Paul spoke about that in Romans 7, chapter 7 and chapter 8, man. You know, this flesh is sinful pretty much.
chains of
You know?
darkness.
'Cause these are the chains of darkness, man. You know? The things that this flesh craves, it goes against your spirit, man.
Let me get a quick precept for exactly what you're saying. Romans 7:14. It says, "For we know that the law is spiritual,
Yeah.
but I am carnal, sold under sin."
Yeah.
You know, we're prone to sin, and we have to be more spiritual to be able to understand and to fulfill these laws, to perform these laws perfectly. It says, "For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would that do, let me start that over. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would that do I not. But what I hate, that I do." You know, what we would want to do for ourselves, perform the law perfectly, we can't do it. But that we hate, we end up doing that because we're prone, and we were created to be perfect, so we're prone to sin. That's just part of this body. That's the fulfillment of prophecy to be more like unto the Most High, knowing good and evil. But we have to sin to know evil. A little more, it says, "If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now that it is no more that I do it, but sin dwelleth in me." The fault is not in the law. The fault was in us. Go back to that. I'll say that.
Back in Hebrews chapter 8, verse 8, it says, "For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah."
Because you guys are where the sin is found at, the fault is found in. I'm going to make a new covenant with Israel, with the people that are created under sin, that you're not going to sin no more. That's going to be part of the new covenant. That's the better promise. That's part of the better promises that you get out of this. More?
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt.
Not solely on the law alone is what it's saying. Not saying we put the law away, but not on the law alone. Because we have to still perform these laws, because that's wisdom. The law is wisdom.
And back then we had the sacrifice of blood, man.
Yeah.
The blood sacrifices that we had to do. That was back under during the time of Moses. And matter of fact, the children of Israel, when the Lord had us make that when He made that covenant with us, it was by the sacrifice of blood, man. You know. But now, Yahweh Shai was already that blood sacrifice, and so now it's going to be different.
Right.
You know. He was the last bloodshed that the Heavenly Father acquired for Israel. That was it after that.
So you West Indians and Haitians that still cutting chicken heads off and pouring out blood and all that, you trying to say it's in the name of your gods, you going off, man. You doing that for Satan. You doing that for the devil. What do you guys up here?
Teaching the Bible. Yeah. That's it says, "Because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord." But this is the covenant.
Because you broke the laws of the Lord. Because you didn't continue to do them. Read that part again for me.
It says, "Because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord."
And I put you away out of my sight. I don't want to deal with you no more because you're too filthy to come up here. You can't come up in here on a spiritual level when you fully engulfed in carnality. You can't come up here. And they're not only just carnal, you're filthy. You're filthy. I don't want to deal with all this unclean liars and bullshit else that y'all do. I'm not dealing with y'all like that. Matter of fact, I better send my son down to deal with you. Let him show you how it's supposed to be done.
It says, "For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord.
In the kingdom,
I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people.
I'm going to make it automatically in you. And these people here, the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, I'm going to automatically put these laws in you where you can't break a law.
Hey,
where you're going to be more spiritual than carnal.
And that's a cut on Nate in them, because as hard as they pushing the law, this proves that none of us can keep the law perfectly.
Yep.
If the Lord had to make a covenant where he got to put it in us, that hasn't happened yet. Or else the whole nation of Israel would be righteous right now.
Yep.
It would be no such thing as 2/3, man. The whole nation would actually be right if this covenant was installed, man.
Here's the question to ask Nate: Is the law good? Is there fault in the law or fault in us?
Right.
And the answer to that will prove if we can get in by the law as people.
Exactly.
Because the answer to that, if y'all watch the video, the answer to that is like we just read in the scriptures. It's in us, not in the law. We're gonna do these laws that Moses wrote down perfectly in the kingdom.
Yep.
We're gonna do those perfectly. In this whole Bible, we're gonna do them perfectly. Right. He ain't gonna change them up, alter them a little bit. Only thing altered is gonna be that sacrificial part, the law of sacrifices. You know, but it shows faith to get the salvation.
That was it on that.
Black.
So-called black.
He's not white.
Right. Even but those Jews that are in the land of Israel today, they're not the real Jews, first off, and they are not brown.
White.
They're called white, but they're really red.
Everybody hates them.
Because they're the devil. The Bible speaks of them.
It all started with the fall. You know, I just went over all this stuff. So it started with the fall. Then it started with the Tower of Babel. Remember that story? Built the tower in their own names, they didn't follow God's instructions. So they didn't follow God's instructions, so that's why we have multiple languages. Because Babel.
Scattered out, right?
Yeah.
Confusion. Babel means confusion, though.
Yeah.
Hebrew. The ball.
Then we had Abraham. Then David. I'm trying to think, we've been doing this and all.
Noah and all of that.
Well, Noah was earlier.
Right.
Yeah. Earlier.
So yeah, but
what message are you guys trying to get out?
well, this is the truth about the Bible. This is the truth about the Bible. These are the people that the Bible talks to. And not even all of these people, because 2/3 of these people won't get this message and have to be another part of the sacrifice righteousness to the kingdom. 2/3 that can't make it. And this goes by your father line. So it doesn't matter what your mom is, it doesn't matter what you look like.
Well, it doesn't matter about race, you know what I mean? Really,
Well,
you know what I mean? Who
it
cares?
does, because this is a race of people. Like, yeah, but who cares about that?
It all has to do with your heart. That's what it all has to do
The
with.
Bible says the heart is wicked above all things.
I know, but the thing is, you clean your heart, you soften your heart. It's all about heart.
It's not about that. The Heavenly Father has to
Do you know that the Bible is not talking, because I see that you're pointing to your chest.
Yeah.
Right.
When the Bible speaks about your heart, it's not talking about the organ that pumps blood.
I know.
Your heart is talking about your
soul.
mind.
It's
It's
your
talking
soul.
about your mind.
And the thing is, if your heart, and it says in the Bible, if your heart isn't right, you will not invite the Holy Spirit. You see what I'm saying?
It starts with your mind.
Whatever you want to start with, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean?
Literally, when you go into the Hebrew, that's what it's talking
Yeah.
about.
But I mean, if you're not right, it's not going to come to you
Right.
until you're right. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, guys.
All right.
Back to it. I feel like I was gonna take, because you got that say, I just gotta be smart up here too.
Yeah. That's what Jay always do that, man.
I just gotta be
I
smart
just gotta
too.
be smart, man.
I gotta be smart too. You gotta be smart, I just gotta be smart. You contradicted me 8 times, so I better leave. Yeah, you smart though, you smarter than average.
It's, back in Hebrews chapter 8, verse 11. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest.
Yeah, all Israel is gonna know the Lord. Even the heathens gonna know of the Lord. But then we're gonna have to teach the heathen how to be right. To keep all that bullshit and sin off the planet, off the galaxies.